Hi there, it's Jacqueline, and you're probably wondering what I'm cooking in the kitchen today. And what I thought I'd do is show you how to make, in our good Italian real fast, how to make a homemade gluten-free pizza that tastes absolutely amazing. So this is what we're going to do. First off, I want to talk about this pot. This is called our multi-purpose pot. And this is the creme de la creme when it comes to pots. It's actually, number one, it will actually work on an induction stove. And you know how expensive those pots can be. Now, this pot actually has measuring graduations in it. So it's got 2, 4, 6, 8 cups that will fit in here. It's got a pouring spout, a stay cool handle. But here's what I really love. This is the lid, see-through. And if you can believe, actually has built-in strainers. So a fine one on this one, and on this side, of course, a much larger. So this is perfect for when you're actually draining vegetables, if you're cooking vegetables or blanching fruit. This does come in a 12 cup size, so a larger size, and it is designed to perfectly fit on this small burner. How smart is that? So what I've got in here right now is, in this collection, there's actually a marinara sauce. Now, some of you may be buying pasta sauces to make your homemade pizza. I'm gonna tell you, you need to start reading the labels, because on that package, you're gonna realize there's a lot of salt and sugar inside your package. Whereas this is just a can of crushed tomatoes. And I've actually divided the recipe in half because I don't need a whole bunch. However, if you want to follow the recipe exactly as it says on the package, just know that you can actually freeze this so you have it handy whenever you want it. Just pull a chunk out of the freezer and then you're good to go. So the directions say add a 1/28 can of diced or crushed tomatoes, and 3 tablespoons of the seasoning mix. Well, as I mentioned, I'm only using 1 can, so that means a tablespoon and a half. So here we've got our 4-in-1 spoon. I'm gonna turn this down. Our 4-in-1 spoon, and what we're going to do with this is we're gonna measure out a cup or a tablespoon and a half. So what's fabulous about this 4-in-1 spoon, tablespoon at this end, teaspoon at this end, flip it over and it's a 1/2 and a 1/4. So I need a tablespoon and a half. So here we go. 1, and then I just flip it over, and a 1/2, and we're good to go. So I'm just gonna stir this in. Like I said, this is just crushed tomatoes, so it doesn't have all that extra salt and sugar that you're normally getting. And we're just gonna let that warm up and get the flavor going for that. Next, turn this right down, let it just simmer. Okay, and I'm actually gonna put my lid on it so it can just stay warm. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to talk about our gluten-free pizza crust. Oh my gosh, so what I've done again, this pizza crust will make 2 pizzas. However, it's just my husband and I here tonight, so I only want to make 1. And we have these amazing quarter sheet pans, which are, of course, Epicure made. We also carry the larger full sheet pan. So if you wanted to do a 1 large pizza using the full package, you can use the big pan. I love these quarter sheet pans because they work absolutely perfectly for making 1 pizza. So these are our prep bowls. I use, as you can see, I use them a lot. Just got a little bit of oil in here, and I'm just going to oil the pan a little bit. Why? Well, so that my dough does not stick. Pretty simple. And I don't think we currently carry this, but when it does come available, this is our basting brush. You are gonna love this so much better than those bristle brushes. So stay connected to your consultant, because on occasion these things pop in. sometimes at the holiday season, sometimes as a customer special, but you will love it because you can throw it in the dishwasher and it gets clean, unlike those bristle brushes. So I've got my pan ready to go. Next, I'm going to get my mix. So in this mix is of course, this is made with, I believe it's rice flour, buckwheat flour, potato starch, cornstarch, tapioca starch, organic cane sugar, baking powder, psyllium husk, pea protein, hemp protein, salt and xanthan gum. Yum. Hey, a whole bunch of things I didn't have to struggle. Insane. So with the Prep Pro, I've got 3/4 of a cup of warm water. I'll just pour that in there. And we're just going to stir this up. Sorry, I guess I should probably put it where you can see me. And just make sure it's mixed nicely. And then I'm going to put a little oil on my hand. We're going to add a little bit of oil in here. In fact, I should probably do that right now. This is olive oil. We used to carry this. This is cold pressed olive oil. And the directions on the package say to add 2 tablespoons. Of course, I'm dividing the recipe in half, so I'm going to pour a tablespoon of oil in there. And again, I'm just going to incorporate this. Wow, it's going to taste really authentic, like Italian, isn't it? Because of the olive oil that's in there. Big difference. Now, if you do not want to make the dough by hand, you can actually go purchase some flatbread if you'd sooner. But what we're going to do with this is we're going to mix it up and we're going to prep it into the 1/4 sheet pan, and we're going to bake it in the oven, 450-degree oven. I've actually got my oven heated already, which is great. If you're doing this at a cooking class, you probably will want to get that oven heated as soon as you get in the door. Okay, so I've got it nicely mixed. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of oil on my hands. So it doesn't stick to my fingers. Grab my pan here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spread this out onto my sheet. And the reason we're cooking it is so that it cuts on the cooking time later. All we need to do is really just reheat our product and we're good to go. So you'll just spread this around the pan. And I can see my marinara's cooking away like crazy, which is good. It can steam and get that good flavor. Okay, so I've got that all spread out and I'm just going to put it into the oven. Wash my hands quickly. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. All right, so let's talk about some of the things I'm going to put on my pizza. I'm going to move a few things away so you can see what I'm doing. Oh, and if you wanted to put a little bit of heat into your pizza, you can use our arrabbiata, which means fiery. So a little bit of this will go a long way. So if you do want to kick it up a notch, this is not included in the Italian, but I actually like a little bit of heat in my marinara. So it's an option for you to consider. Okay, so now what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a vegetarian pizza, and I have to show you this cutting board. This cutting board is amazing as well. And what I love about it is you can use 2 sides. It actually has grippers here so it doesn't slide on your counter, which is fabulous. So I'm going to cut a little bit of onion. I don't know. This is, oh, by the way, our ceramic knife. And this is the chef size. And you know, like it just cuts like a dream. Like, I don't know if you can see how thin I'm cutting this, but it's like sliver thin. It also works really nice on soft. So tomatoes, just cuts it like butter. And I'm going to also put on some peppers. I actually like red peppers. So I'll just cut up a few peppers here so I can put them on top. Now the other thing that I've done, I like broccoli on my pizza. So what I have done is I actually got a little bit of broccoli, chopped it up, I threw it in my steamer, put it in the microwave for 2 minutes. Don't add any water, there's enough moisture in the actual broccoli already. And I just steamed it in the microwave for 2.5 minutes and it's done. I've also cut up a little bit of mushroom with my knife. And the cheese that we're gonna use, because this is good food, real results, I'm using bocconcini, which doesn't have a whole bunch of extra salt in it, and it's a more natural, fresh cheese. So let me show you one more thing that I'm going to put on my pizza, and this might be really fun for you. Zucchini. But I'm not just going to, I could slice my zucchini like I did with my knife. I'm going to show you something extra. So the zucchini, what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it. Basically, I'm cutting it in 4 corners, but I'm not going all the way through. I think you can see that. And this is our vegetable twister and slicer. It's got spiralizing to make like zucchini noodles, but on this side is a slicer. And I'm actually going to use this to slice some chunks of zucchini for my pizza as well. It's like a pencil sharpener. But you can see how by cutting it and scoring it, it comes out in nice little cubes. So I think I've got enough there. So let's get our pizza ready. Oh, I should show you one last thing while I'm thinking of it. Let's just turn this off. This veggie spiralizer also comes with a cleaner. So you know it's not good to stick your fingers in here because the blades are very sharp, but you use this to clean. And when you're done, just pop it in. And yes, it does have a grabber if you want, but because I was well away from the top, I didn't see a need to put that in. Okay, so we're gonna make our pizza now. So here's our pizza shell. It's been cooked for 15 minutes. And what we're going to do now, just get a spoon out, we're going to put some marinara sauce on top. I'll slide this over so you can see. So roughly, I think on our Good Food Real Results, you're supposed to put about 1/4 of a cup and just spread it around liberally. I like making sure that it goes to all the corners. There's nothing worse when you go out for pizza and near the crust is just like a ton of crust and no flavor. So there you go. I always make sure that my sauce goes right into the corners. So there we go. Got that done. See how awesome this is? Okay, and now I'm going to put some of my veg on here. So I'll put some zucchini. And you could put chicken or shrimp or sausage if you prefer. A little bit of onion. And like I said, I'm not going to put a lot of onion on there, but I have sliced it really thin. So just make sure everyone gets a little bit of flavor there. Some red pepper. And again, I slice this with that ceramic knife. And it is so darn easy. Okay, I'm going to throw on maybe some tomatoes and some mushrooms. I thought I had more tomatoes here. I don't know what oh, I threw them in my salad. We're going to make a salad as well. And some mushrooms. Looking good. And of course, my bocconcini. Broccoli. Oops. Now, how many times do you go to a restaurant and you get this many vegetables on your plate and on your pizza? All right, last or almost last, sticking on my slices of bocconcini, and then we're just gonna bake it. And I do one last thing, just because I am a spice gal, so you know I love my spices. This is SPG, which stands for salt, pepper, garlic. Most of Epicure does not have a lot of salt in it. And so especially if you're starting with Epicure for the first time, you may discover that it's maybe not as flavorful as you may be used to. That's a good thing because we're having way too much sodium. Anyway, I like just sort of sprinkling a little bit on, because how can you go wrong with a little bit of salt, pepper, and garlic, especially if it's Italian. Good. And I'm just going to put this in the oven, and then I'm going to make a salad dressing.